everyone. 411 Business, JC Coffee here with Dr. Drucker. And today we are going to talk about your immune system. Dr. Drucker, talk a little bit about our immune system.
Well, the immune system is rather remarkable. Let me tell you some things. The immune system is so important. Let's say you cut your hand. You'd be dead in 3 days without your immune system functioning. The immune system is so important that it's the last system to function. Even after you draw your last breath, your immune system is still functioning, trying to keep you alive.
Wow.
That's how powerful it is. If it protects you against every bacteria, virus, fungi, parasite, cancer, abnormal tissues, foreign invaders, toxins. It's amazing.
Can you
Uh,
explain key factors that contribute to a strong immune system?
well, absolutely. And the problem is that since basically World War II, which is about 80 years ago, so many things have been done to damage our immune systems. It's almost unbelievable. For example, um, after World War II, they had all these nitrates for that were used to make bombs, like TNT, right? So instead of doing that, they didn't need that anymore. So they figured, well, why don't we just put it on the crops because they need nitrogen, right? Of course, they need about 40 other things too, like minerals and nitrogen fixing bacteria and a healthy soil and all kinds of things that plants need. But they only figured, well, let's just get rid of it. So instead of using all the natural fertilizers that they used to use, which had everything really pretty much that we needed, now no more minerals, no more natural fertilizer. So they demineralized the soil. Not only that, they started putting poison bug sprays and pesticides and herbicides and fungicides like DDT and now glyphosate, which is 100 times worse, and organophosphate fertilizer. Just terrible what they did to our soil. There's many other reasons, but those are the biggies. So what happened was not only did we have lack of nutrients, which are essential for our entire body and, of course, the immune system, but now we have all these poisons we have to get. Now your kidney has to work harder. Your liver has to work harder. Toxins are anti-enzymes. It takes away your energy. That's why, how do you think a toxin kills you? The way a toxin kills you is it destroys an enzyme that's so important that without it, you're dead. You see, now we have thousands and thousands of these toxic chemicals, most of which came since after World War II, which are damaging our immune system, reducing our health, lowering our energy levels, ruining our metabolism. You see these people that are 400 pounds, you think they want to be 400 pounds?
Mm-mm.
Look at they say 2 out of 3 Americans are overweight. You think
Wow.
most people want that? Don't you
That's
think that the synthetic hormones and the drugs and the vaccines and the pollution and all these other horrible things, don't you think that's slowing down our metabolism? Don't you think that's adversely affecting us? So these are the main reasons. Now, of course, stress makes it worse. I've had a lot of people call me, oh, I got this terrible disease after I went through a divorce or I lost my job or something terrible happened, which is common. Look, life hands us these things. But if you have a strong immune system, you're much more resistant to stress. And you're going to live longer, you're going to be happier, and you're going to have more energy, and you're not going to have to worry about every virus and bacteria and God knows what coming down the pike, because they're going to keep coming down the pike. They're not going to stop.
So, what are some common misconceptions about boosting immune systems?
Well, it's not so much misconceptions. See, the medical profession really can't do anything to boost your immune system. They don't even believe in nutrition, vitamins, minerals. Like they say things like, don't take vitamins or minerals, you'll just have expensive urine, right? Can you imagine? That's expensive compared to getting some god-awful disease that costs you $500,000 until it kills you. Give me a break. Or how about it's all in your head because they can't figure it out, right? Or how about this one? Get your affairs in order, you'll be dead in 6 months. I mean, who are they to say things like this? This is terrible. So what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of misconceptions out there. Drugs don't heal anything. They can save your life in a medical emergency. They are useful if you have terrible pain or maybe you need an operation of some sort, of course. A talented surgeon is great. A good ER doctor is great. Don't get me wrong. But for chronic illness, forget it. And what's chronic illness? Chronic illness is a defective immune system, basically. You either have an underactive immune system, so you're likely to get colds and flus and, God forbid, even cancer, or you have an overactive immune system, which is misdirected towards your own tissues. They call that autoimmune disease, like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis or Hashimoto's thyroiditis or Crohn's disease or eczema or psoriasis. There's 100 of them. So what I've done is, over the years, I decided, look, I don't cure anything. All I do is help your immune system, the best doctor in the world, to cure you.
Mm-hmm.
That's simple.
How does nutrition play a role in maintaining a healthy immune system?
Well, that's a great question. And of course, it's very interesting to most people. Despite the fact that I wrote an essay that said diet is not enough, because today the diet simply is so deficient in vitamins and minerals and all kinds of things, not to mention the additives and whatnot, preservatives and you name it. But anyway, but without essential nutrients, you can't have a strong immune system. Look at vitamin C. You ever hear the expression that British soldiers are called limeys? You know why they're called limeys? Because there was a doctor over 100 years ago. He figured out that if you gave a lime to every sailor, he wouldn't get scurvy. Well, scurvy was killing sailors. Your teeth would fall out. You would bleed easily. You couldn't heal right. You were very vulnerable to, and even a cut could keep bleeding forever. Could even kill you. So, but with that little bit of vitamin C from a lime every day, guess what? No more scurvy. Same is true of rickets. Like the people they get malabsorption of calcium.
Mm-hmm.
That's from lack of vitamin D. But what people don't also realize, without vitamin D, your immune system can't work properly. A man's prostate can't even work properly without vitamin D. That's how important. And guess what it's made from?
What?
It's not just made from the sun. It's made from cholesterol. And they're giving people all these cholesterol statin drugs to lower your cholesterol. That's insane. The body has to have enough cholesterol to make hormones, vitamin D. Every cell membrane in your body has to be flexible, because there's a layer of cholesterol in there. Cholesterol is not a heart risk factor. It's nonsense. It never was. Now, oxidized cholesterol is, if you don't have enough vitamin E or you're eating the wrong oils. A lot of crummy oils out there today, junk food and fast food and all that nonsense. But if you get the right oils and some vitamin E and whatever, you really don't have to worry too much. You don't have to worry about cholesterol, that's for sure. But anyway.
So what specific foods would you say? What specific foods or nutrients are essential for the immune system?
Well, you have to have enough vitamin A. Vitamin A protects the mucous membranes. It's not just for eyesight.
What food has that?
Say it again.
What food would, if I was going to the store
of course. Well, here's what you want. First of all, it should be organic, because you don't want those poison sprays on your food. Now, unfortunately, today, even organic food doesn't necessarily have more nutrients or minerals, for example, but at least it doesn't have as much of the poison sprays like the glyphosate and all these other nasty bug sprays and pesticides and herbicides and fungicides. So at least you're getting less poison. Now, see, the darker the colors, the more nutrients. For example, if you have red cabbage or a real bright red tomato, or you have, let's say, carrots with that dark orange color, or maybe squash, these bright colors, they really have most of the nutrients, as long as they're organic. For example, vitamin A comes from yellow and orange vegetables. There's also some in green vegetables. Green vegetables are terribly important. They have magnesium. Do you know how important magnesium is? Think about it for a second. Somebody is anemic, right? They say, oh, you got to take an iron pill. Well, no, you don't necessarily have to take an iron pill. Now, if you have iron deficiency anemia, you do need more iron, but there's other kinds of anemias. The quickest way to get rid of anemia is go out to the store, get lots of organic green vegetables, juice them, get all that chlorophyll in there, that green color. Why? Because if you look at hemoglobin at the center has an iron molecule, right? An iron atom. But if you take the iron out and you put in magnesium instead, you get chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the blood of plants. So why give people, iron sulfate, which is constipating and doesn't have nearly the benefits of chlorophyll, when you can just give them green juices in a few days that you get rid of anemia. Now, if they need iron, you give them some iron too. Maybe eat some, some organic liver or meat, or you even just take a good vitamin supplement, take a good mineral supplement. You don't have to have meat if you don't want it. But what I'm trying to say is that the nutrition is so bad. I run a test called my 30 systems test, which I love. It tests you for every vitamin, every mineral, toxic metals like lead, mercury, aluminum, cadmium, etc., pesticide residues, the functions of all your organs, your kidneys, your liver, your heart, your circulation, even your immune system. It can tell you whether you're osteoporotic, whether you have a fatty liver. I mean, just on and on and on, over 300 data points. And let me tell you, there isn't a single person I test, man, woman, or child, I don't care where they're from, as long as they've lived in America for 6 months or longer, they're deficient in nutrients. They're all deficient in minerals. They're all deficient in one or more vitamins, usually 6 or 8. They're all toxic. They have too many heavy metals like lead, mercury, aluminum, cadmium, etc. A lot of them have fatty livers. Even they may not be fat, but their liver is fat because, you see, the liver cells get destroyed and get replaced by fat with toxins or lack of nutrients, or both. How about leaky gut syndrome? Very common. And people have allergies. They have autoimmune diseases like lupus or rheumatoid arthritis or Hashimoto's, or dozens of them.
So
So these are all correctable.
what are some signs that someone might have a weak immune system?
Well, they're going to be prone to either colds or flus. They're going to have lack of energy. They'll feel run down. They may be anemic. They may have autoimmune diseases. They may have any one of those 100 autoimmune diseases, which I mentioned on my website. By the way, you can look all this up. My website is dynamicmedicine.solutions, dynamicmedicine.solutions, or holisticlives.org. You can read my book, The Code of Life. You can call me, 954-547-0487. 954-547-0487. We can have a chat on the phone. There's no charge. I can show you how to get a healthy immune system, knock out most autoimmune diseases, get your energy back, lose weight, you name it. See, they have to realize the human body runs on principles, scientific principles called physiology and biochemistry. So why do they call them the laws of physiology? Like the law of gravity, right? We know that the gravity works. It's proven, right? You don't have to guess about gravity. You throw something up, it's going to fall back down again, unless it's lighter than air, right? Okay. So it's the law. So I'm a healthcare scientist. See, when I was 19, I was doing cancer research in a teaching hospital. I was doing medical diagnostics. I actually teach other doctors a diagnosis, laboratory and differential diagnosis, because I've been doing it for over 50 years. So you go to a doctor, they spend 6 minutes with you if you're lucky. You have to get through the Iron Maiden at the front desk who's more interested in your insurance than you, right? Finally get to see a doctor. Doctor looks at your symptoms, does a few simple tests, talks to you for 5 minutes if you're lucky, and then writes a prescription for a dangerous drug that can never heal you and has side effects and toxicity. Is that healthcare? That's nonsense. If I see a patient, let me just finish. Thank you. But let me just finish. So when I see a patient, I spend a time with their history. I find out what's really going on. Then I come up with a differential diagnosis. I do a thorough exam, a neurologic, orthopedic, musculoskeletal, organ exam. Boy, by the time I'm done, I know more about you than your mother knows about you. And if I run that 30-system test, wow, we really know what's going on. Now we know the cause of your problem. We're not just going to try to cover it up with some drug.
So how can lifestyle changes such as exercise and sleep impact your immune system?
Well, that's all very important. It's said that the body heals itself most efficiently when you're sleeping. And that's true. One of the reasons why? Because when you're sleeping, not only is your entire body resting, your brain, your organs, your digestive system, it's resting, but it stimulates something called your parasympathetic nervous system. See, people that go into a deep sleep are in a parasympathetic state. The parasympathetic nervous system The parasympathetic nervous system is most active when your immune system is strong. So if you're not getting a good night's sleep, you're actually suppressing your immune system. Now, exercise is beneficial because obviously you're getting more oxygen, you're getting circulation. Circulation is terribly important. Every part of your body has to have proper circulation. So there's no question that sleep is terribly important. Exercise is important, but it depends. Some people need more exercise than others. Some people need more vigorous exercise than others. For example, I like to know a person's blood type because the type O's generally need more exercise and more vigorous exercise. Your best athletes in the world are typically type O's. Type A might be more beneficial, say, to do yoga or meditation or stretching or maybe some walking. But the type O's, well, yeah, they are football players, basketball players, weightlifters. They're generally very healthy. They're very hardy, typically. So I do an analysis there with your. I get like a little genetic profile on you, including your blood type, and so I want to customize the care to the individual. It's not a one size fits all. Okay, people are different. You're not going to treat a man the way you are a woman necessarily. Some people are from Northern Europe. They have blonde hair or red hair and green eyes or blue eyes. You're not going to treat them the way somebody from the equator who has, dark hair and dark skin and dark eyes. Those people are different. They're genetically different. I'm not talking about their social. Everybody has the same rights and all that. But I'm talking about from a genetic standpoint, you see. And the medical people, they'll often say, "Hey, it's your genetics because your father died of a heart attack, so you are too, or something, or diabetes, whatever it is, right?" But it's nonsense. Lifestyle is far more important than genetics in most cases.
So what role do supplements play in supporting the immune system? And do you feel like they're necessary?
Oh, that's a great question because, see, today, like I say, you cannot get your nutrients in food. Even organic food no longer has all the essential vitamins and minerals and what I call phytonutrients, meaning nutrients from the plant kingdom, like those beautiful dark colors that you have in all the different vegetables, right, and some fruits. So you have to supplement. When I run my 30 system test, which tests you for all your vitamins and minerals, there isn't a single person that has all their vitamins and minerals. So they have to supplement. And I have a wonderful company that I love. It's a research lab. It's very, very pure, all natural, wonderful company. No bad additives or anything. And I recommend a real good multivitamin mineral for them and multi-minerals. Everybody needs that. And then we customize it. Some people may need more of this, more of that, a little different diet, depending on their genetics, on their lifestyle. Some people need to lose weight. We can put them on a weight loss diet that's, without any drugs or nonsense. It's called ketosis. We also use something called intermittent fasting, which is wonderful. It actually extends your life. There's so many different things you can do for people.
So, Dr. Drucker, can you share some recent research findings on the immune system health and that our audience should know about?
Well, yes, in general. See, because of my background in medical research, I will often Google or look up something from PubMed. PubMed means medical publications, so scientific publications. And okay, some of the articles are very technical, but a lot of times they'll have a little summary in the front. And the summary you can just read. It's just common English. It's not a lot of fancy medical terms. So I'll use that a lot. You can look up something called, for example, ACE Mannan, ACEMANNAN, ACE Mannan, immunostimulant. Immunostimulant. That's what the scientific world calls it. See, there's a formula that I helped design. I don't sell it, but I helped design it from a scientific standpoint over the years, and we perfected it. It's called ACE Mannan. And ACE Mannan is all natural. It's all organic, completely safe. So safe you can give it to a newborn infant in their baby formula or a pregnant woman. That's how safe it is. It's completely non-toxic. And it literally rebuilds a healthy immune system, which you can read about in my book called The Code of Life, or even my new book called How to Heal the Immune System, which is coming out next week. And in fact, I'm going to give you all the links to that after the show today. But But it's all available. Healtherootcause.com is another website, healtherootcause.com. And like I say, anybody can call me, 954-547-0487, 954-547-0487. I'm happy to explain in more detail to people. I'm not your doctor. I'm just a friendly second opinion. If you come into the office, of course, yes. But on the phone, excuse me, I'm more than happy to just, you know, chat with you for a few minutes.
So, Dr. Drucker, what about someone who has really thick blood? How do they help? What can they do?
Well, yeah, there are people that whose blood is too thick. If your blood is too thick, it's called viscosity, right? It's too thick. Well, you can have a number of reasons. For example, some people are taking extra testosterone, like the synthetic testosterone shots, which I really don't like. You can get natural if you really need it, but certainly not and that increases your red blood cell count. Well, if you have too many red blood cells, your blood gets thick. And you can also get a thing called rouleau formation, where the blood cells, instead of being individual, like they're floating around individually, they clump together like this, and they call it rouleau. And that can lead to blood clots. In fact, that's what's happening with a lot of these patients that have, myocarditis, and they're getting strokes, and they're getting blood clots because of an abnormal immune reaction. To various things. So yes, you can thin the blood. Sometimes you can use digestive enzyme. If they're taking a synthetic hormone, you try to get them to stop. For example, they tell women who are on the birth control that they really shouldn't smoke. It's not just because of their lungs. It's because a woman who's on the birth control pill is more likely to get a blood clot, especially if she smokes. There's those abnormal. See, those hormones are not natural. They're synthetic. And, a synthetic hormone cannot possibly do everything as safely as a natural hormone. The same is true with the thyroid. Some people are taking this Synthroid and they're taking these artificial hormones. I really don't like that. I much prefer something called Nature Throid or Armor Thyroid. At least it's natural. But then again, you don't even know what kind of thyroid disease you have unless you run 4 tests. Now, the medical people sometimes will only run 1. Or even if they run all the tests, they don't necessarily interpret them properly because they don't know what to do if you have autoimmune disease. They can give you a hormone. Let's say you have a Hashimoto's thyroiditis, hypothyroidism. Well, that's fine. But if they give you just the hormone, it doesn't turn off the autoimmune attack. So what I do is I get them these immune modulators, and that turns off the autoimmune attack. And a lot of times that's all you have to do. Now, of course, you want them on a healthy diet and whatnot. Maybe they need a little detoxification. Everybody's toxic to some degree in this toxic world. But the main thing is to get their immune system normalized. And that's how we do it, with something called either Digesticure, it's an immune modulator, or Ace-Mannan, which depends on your condition. One is a little stronger than the other, depending. And very simple. You can even call the company directly. It's 888-671-2873, 888-671-2873. I don't sell it. I'm their science advisor. But I've used it successfully for over 45 years now to help people with any kind of immune problems, either a suppressed immune system or an overactive and misdirected immune system, like in autoimmune disease or allergies.
All right, 411 Business. There you have it, Dr. Ronald Drucker. Dr. Drucker, give us one more time how people can get in touch with you.
Well, the best way is just to call or text me at 954-547-0487. That's 954-547-0487. That's the simplest, quickest way. You can go to my websites, healtherootcause.com, dynamicmedicine.solutions, holisticlives.org. You can read my book, Code of Life. You can read my other book that's coming out next week called How to Heal the Immune System. But I'm readily available. Call me, text me, and I'm more than happy to speak with you.
Okay, there you have it, 411. Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, and contact Dr. Drucker. If I keep getting everyone contacting me, which is wonderful too, but contact Dr. Drucker and he will help you with whatever medical issue that you have.